Today I wrote this down. Maybe you're in the middle of a struggle or pushing through a quiet battle. Whatever it is, know this. There is a power within you that is far greater than you've been taught to believe. And let it be an introduction for today's message. I'm welcoming you into this wonderful place. This is the forest that we're coming in for, making messages like today's one. We'll be talking about the March Ascension symptoms. So energies are leveling up. We had the planetary alignment. We had a powerful new moon at the time of planetary alignment, and the energy is still very, very high, and well, everything is speeding up and leveling up. So March will be quite of a rewarding month for many of us, because for many of you, you may notice that in the previous years you've been through a lot, and I don't know a single person who was not through at least one very life-altering challenge in the last 2 to 3 years, like really huge challenge, and it was something that changed their identity, or it changed their perception of life, or it changed their very deep belief system about what is possible or what this life is all about. And well, the month of March is a month where much of your hard work will start paying off. And it's not like the biggest manifestation of your life or the biggest breakthrough you've been waiting for. It will be these breadcrumbs, these glimpses into where you're going. And they will inspire you, and they will ignite your heart. And it reminds me of the painting that I've just finished yesterday, and I want to say big thanks for all the love, for all the beautiful thoughts you've shared with me on my latest painting that's called the Flame of Life. And you can go and check it out on AttractPassion.com. Just write in the search Flame of Life and you will find it, because it's not a coincidence that it came to life just at this time, because this is the painting that symbolizes the energy of passion, which is like this flame inside of your heart, but around it there's chaos. And that's why that painting is so interesting and so related to this time, because, well, obviously as we're going through this kind of spiritual ascension, our sensitivity is intensifying. More you're taking care of yourself, more you become sensitive. And this is quite of a natural thing that happens to us. We become more sensitive to thoughts, we become more sensitive to emotions, and we become more sensitive to intuition. And the reason for that is because you are a being of senses, yeah, but you've been so distracted by the external world that you were not used to live in your senses. You've been used to live in your mind. But then after COVID, everything changed, because suddenly you've been exposed to everything you've been ignoring, and that's why that was such a huge part to awakening. And now, well, everything is just leveling up, and if you're going with your own rhythm and listening yourself and following the signs that the universe is giving to you, you're moving upward spiral. And this upward spiral sometimes feels like downward spiral, because it is taking you through hell. It is not taking you literally through hell, it is taking you through what people call ego death, where you're learning to detach from certain things that mean a lot to you, and you're learning to adapt to what is changing, to the currents of life. You learn to adapt to the currents of life, to the winds of life. So something you may notice in March is that you're becoming so much more adaptable. And to me it feels rewarding, because when you recognize that there are so many things you can change, especially when it comes to maybe your loved ones, or when it comes to sometimes finances. Like a big change may happen, you may lose a job. Like so many times I see comments, or we receive messages or emails, people writing us, I've lost a job and it was such a burden or such a stressful time, and it took a lot on me. And those are all big changes, right? But at the same time, maybe we can't do much about it. So what we can do is to adapt and become more present. So use that time of in-between phases that we have sometimes, in between losing a job and finding a new one, or in between changing a career, which is also a big thing right now. Many people are changing their careers because before they've been maybe chasing something that was like an external expectation for them, and they've recognized it's not really my thing. Now I want to do something that's my, my drive, my desire, my heart's call. So sometimes we find ourselves somewhere, in between, on the crossroad, and there's this sign for the left that says go where they say, and there's this sign for the right that says go where your heart says. And while as we stand there, we really need to be in tune with ourselves, because one takes one may be quite of an easy choice, while the other one may be quite of a tough one, because you need to trust, right? And to trust means nothing external will help you with that. So you need to be very in tune with yourself, and that's where we learn to adapt. We recognize, okay, whatever is out of my control, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. And I'm fully tuning in into what life is giving to me right now. And this is a big thing right now for many people, tuning into what life is giving you right now. Even if it feels hard, it only feels hard to your ego. But it always feels rewarding to your soul, even though you will only understand it later. So you kind of need to fall in love with the sense of the future rather than being a victim of what happened, because there's the future you that is calling you into this path that feels challenging. Maybe if there are some of you who are going through something hard, you need to in tune with the future where you've already kind of come through this challenge, and notice how it feels, how you feel on the other side of it, like how you feel on the other side of that river of change that you are maybe passing right now, because it can help you to remember why you've started, because sometimes we forget, right? So March will be a very rewarding month in many ways, because, well, firstly, many of you will experience, like I said, these glimpses of everything that's coming towards you, everything that you're meant to experience. For those of you who are doing the work for quite some time and walking forward and forgiving the past and letting go of the weights that are, still anchoring you into the past. This may happen to many of us, right? But remember, on physical level, we look at ascension as climbing up. But on spiritual level, we look at ascension as letting go of the weights, letting go of the spiritual weights. Those are emotional grudges. Those are holding on to something that's outdated. Those are angers that we haven't released. Those are fears we haven't identified, acknowledged, and reframe the mental stories that are feeding them. And sometimes those are shames that are hiding our true selves, that are kind of locking our light from being expressed. And as we slowly deal with those things, those are very heavy energies that we are working on, usually in quietness, in our own homes, in our own minds many times. As we're dealing with that, well, That's when we are making the most progress, right? And this progress is not seen anywhere, but it's always rewarded by the universe because, well, your frequency is changing. You see, the Earth's energy is rising, and you can see that if you go and look at the Schumann resonance. Find a graph that may show you the frequency of the Earth in the last 10 years. You will see it's rising. It's rising, and it means that, well, it's Earth's heartbeat, and it is influencing your heartbeat. It is influencing your brain and nervous system. So when it is rising, it is also making your nervous system more active. It is making your heart beat more active sometimes, which means there's sometimes the speeding up of the blood flow through your veins, and, well, it's more activity, right? More activity means that certain information come to the surface faster, so like there's more suppressed thoughts coming up to the surface faster, so it's happening faster, which means like you, let's say 3 years ago may happen that you would be dealing with one limiting belief and then you would be good for 3 months. Now it's like you're dealing with something today, tomorrow there's something new, and then the next day there's again something new, and the next day there's again something new, like almost like a constant battle. But each battle also brings reward because it's a spiritual battle, right? And spiritual battle is rewarded by light, and while light on spiritual plane is felt as lightness, on physical plane it's felt as abundance, as love, as connection. So more you're doing this kind of healing, more you start meeting these soulful connections, more you start meeting synchronicities that bring abundance into your life, more you start meeting incredible ideas that put your soul on fire. Like, again, if we return back to the painting of the tiger with this blue flame inside of its heart and the sunrise above its head, it reminds us that it was worth it, right? So March is, it feels like the nature feels right now where I live. It's just waking up after the winter. And to those of you who are really doing the work, who are really patient with yourself, who are really learning to fall in love with life, you can expect many interesting, unexpected breakthroughs. And, well, accept them, yes. Accept them with an open heart, because you deserve it all. You deserve it all. And to those of you who feel like there's no end to the challenges you're going through, know that actually there is an end, and it all shall pass, yes. You know these things, but keep returning back to this sense of the future you that's already on the other side of that challenging period. Because you will know why it's worth it. You will know why it's worth it. Another theme that you may still notice is that your body may go through changes. So people are experiencing headaches many times. People are experiencing dizziness. Like, also I've been feeling for the whole February, I've been feeling like, I've been sleeping more than ever. Like, for the whole February, I've been sleeping more than ever, but still so many times I felt tired and I felt a bit dizzy. And my lifestyle is very healthy. I'm active, I'm working out, I'm resting enough, I'm drinking enough of water, electrolytes, all of that, meditating, but still I felt very, very tired. But I accepted that, and I just took time to rest, and it felt very good. Yeah, it felt very good. So I recognized more I accept this kind of symptoms and provide to my body what it needs, more I go with the rhythm of the season. And more we go with the rhythm of the season, less we feel like we need to fight with what doesn't go the way we would like. And less we need like we have to fight with what doesn't go our way. More we see the true way. More we see the true way. What is the true way? The real path that is kind of, showing up after the fog. We see everything was meant to be. And that's something you are noticing. That's why I said adaptability is one of the greatest virtues right now, because you don't need to change much. Rather, you need to adapt to what is unfolding. Because when you notice what is unfolding, you will notice that it was always meant to be, and it will introduce you to your nature. Because while your nature is hidden beneath all the conditioning and all the suppressed emotions and all the suppressed intuitive drives, and once you start paying attention more to these hidden energies, to these suppressed energies, more you start respecting them, honoring them. So this is another theme right now, respect for thyself, right? Many of you are starting to respect yourself, and in March you will experience more of this sense for self-love, self-respect, which means honoring the boundaries, honoring your passions, honoring your drives, honoring your curiosity, honoring your limits, not going past them, not going too much into extremes, not losing the golden mean. And this is all self-respect. That's how you protect your energy and stay in tune with the guidance, right? So what's the most beautiful thing that I'm noticing in my life right now, and I feel in March for many of you, it will start showing up, is that you are beginning to trust your intuition more than ever, your inherent guidance, and noticing that it is a compass. And even though sometimes it makes you too impulsive, you're learning slowly to use it wisely. Because, well, sometimes your intuition may feel like you need to do something impulsively, like you may feel, oh, I will start doing that, and you start immediately. And then you burn yourself because you've destroyed something you've been building for quite some time. It happened to me in the past. Like, for example, I've been building something for 2 years, a certain system that worked for me, and then I felt intuitively I should change something, and I went all in immediately. And then everything I've been building for years started falling apart, and I've noticed, okay, maybe this intuitive pull was good, but I should maybe be a bit more patient with myself and take it a bit slower, so so I can adapt more to the new current, but still stay grounded in what works. And then slowly adding to what works a bit of the new ideas, a bit of the, slowly turning to a new direction. Not impulsively just jumping somewhere. This is something I've learned in my life that is very, very helpful. And I don't know if this makes sense, but if it does, well, I hope it can help you. But yes, I'm noticing that I don't have much doubts anymore. And that's intuition. You just trust. You trust yourself, you trust life, and you know that if you're willing to do the hard work when it's necessary, and you're willing to rest when you feel exhausted, and you're willing to be accountable, and you're willing to show up every single day, and you're willing to dive deeper into what is still weighing you down and heal it with a sense of presence, and doing it anyway, even though it feels maybe shameful, like you want to do something but shame is blocking you, like you want to express yourself but shame is blocking you. You want to help someone but anger, or maybe not anger, but fear is blocking you. Like you want to speak up but fear is blocking you. I've made a video about that. The silence is about to be broken. Go and check it out. And you would like to maybe let go of a relationship or heal a relationship, but anger is blocking you. Those are the things that right now people are just going through. And most probably you're going through something like that as well. Just know that there is always a healthier way. There is always a better way to deal with something. So look for the better way. That's how to work with the present time. Look for the better way. Because no one can really tell you what's the best for you. But when you identify the problem, the solution will appear to you naturally, because universe wants to put you to the timeline that's most optimal for you, but you need to allow yourself to do that. You need to give yourself permission to get into alignment. And to get into alignment, sometimes you need to recognize what is pulling you away, right? We use distractions as a coping mechanism to not deal with what's unpleasant. But as we dive deeper into the unpleasant, we recognize that it's a calling. All these unpleasant things from the past, sensations, emotions, are only callings into the future. And you will get there through them, right? Through shame, through fear, through worry, through doubts, through anger, you will get there. And each emotion has a different way to be dealt with. But sometimes I look at emotions as cups. Certain cups are too full, like too much anger, too much shame. And then certain cups are too empty, like lack of joy, lack of passion, lack of enthusiasm. And this only shows me which emotion could be channeled into something new. Like if the cup, what's inside of this cup is always the same. It's energy. It's the energy. So if the shame is too full, the cup of shame is too full, pour it into the cup of joy. Do what you're joyful about, even though you may sense shame for it. Like, I've been so ashamed to talk in front of the camera, but look at me. Now I'm not ashamed anymore, right? Because I've poured from the cup of shame into the cup of joy, and I've started enjoying that, right? Maybe there's a cup of anger that's too full, and there's a cup of happiness that's too empty. You can use anger and channel it into something that brings you happiness. It could be sports, it could be nature, it could be, I don't know, art, whatever it is. Use the stored energy and use the stored energy as a fuel for what can provide you what you lack. Yes, that's something that helped me the most. And that's how we find an internal balance. And once we find it, we recognize it was not so hard. I was just lacking what I didn't provide to myself due to certain external responsibilities that are obviously important, but not more important than your well-being, right? So, well, as the sun came out, maybe, well, your light will come out like that as well when you find this kind of liberation inside of you. You see, as a little kid, you've been following your curiosity, and you've been doing what you've been searching for. You've been, providing to yourself what you wanted to experience. When you needed a play, you went outside and you played. When you needed a rest, you lay down and you rest, right? And as you got a bit older, you've forgotten that you can adapt to the rhythms, you can adapt to the seasons, you can adapt to the currents and winds. And as you adapt, you learn to bend and you learn to be strong when you need to be strong. You can do all of these things because, well, you're the most adaptable creature in this universe. So let go, my friend, and learn to provide yourself what you need, and the universe will reward you. It will reward you. And that's something that the month of March will support you the most. So rather than having cups of energy to full, pour into those which are empty, so there can be more balance inside of you. And also be open, be open for the miracles. Don't think, oh, miracles are not possible, it's a limiting belief. Don't think nothing can change, it's a limiting belief. Don't think you're too old, it's a limiting belief. Don't think you can't meet that special person because your situation is like this. It's a limiting belief. Open up for miracles. And you know, a person who's open for miracles is willing to go out into the unknown, is willing to go to the places that used to be afraid of. It's willing to risk something to experience something new. Life, you know, energy works in exchange. So be willing to exchange sometimes comfort for a new experience. Be willing to risk something to have a new experience. And don't look at life or at mistakes as failures. Look at them as feedback. Just feedback. You don't need to be emotional about it, just feedback. And that's it. As you see your mistakes as, or what you get for a mistake, see it as a feedback. And feedback will tell you the quality of your work. And the quality can always improve through action and repetition and growth, right? So the feedback will improve as well. This is it for today, my friends. I hope you found great value today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you've enjoyed in this wonderful scenery. And I want to say big thanks to everyone who's choosing to support this mission by purchasing my art. If you want to support my work, you can buy my paintings on AttractPassion.com, where you will find prints of my art that are more affordable and original paintings for those who want the source, the real energy of it. It's also in the prints. You will feel it, people feel it. It's equal, but it's still different. So the painting that resonates with you holds the energy inside that you may need. So go and check it out and see which one speaks to you the most. And also big thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community for more exclusive content. Now I will enjoy on the sun and go outside under the sun as well, because it will help you. Yeah, it will. Till next time, my friends, one love.